Downsizing can be one of the biggest decisions you'll have to make in retirement. For some, it's freedom and life changing. For others, it feels like the biggest mistake they ever made. So, today we're talking about downsizing for retirement in Metro Atlanta. When is it smart and when could it be a huge mistake? I'm Ephraim Abdullah, the number one 55 plus active adult realtor in Metro Atlanta, and I help downsizers make smooth, stress free moves. Let's get into some of the benefits of downsizing. And one of the top reasons I hear from folks that are downsizing is the lower cost. Less space to heat and cool means lower utility bills, lower mortgage. Perhaps when you sell your house, you put a nice big down payment or you pay cash outright, so you may not have any mortgage at all. Then talk about property taxes. Well, depending on the age bracket you're in and where you're at, what county you're in, you could be paying almost no property taxes. So it's definitely something to look forward to. Less maintenance is another big one. In 55 plus active adult communities in particular, the HOA handles the landscaping, even your personal lawn care, and even the exterior maintenance on your properties. So that's a lot of stuff you don't have to worry about. And it just gives you more time to go out and engage in hobbies, spend time with family, travel, or whatever else it is you want to do in retirement. Another big one is unlocking the equity in that big family home that you built up over the years. This could give you the cash that you need to live the retirement lifestyle that you've been dreaming of. But now we know that there's two sides to every coin, and of course, downsizing does have its drawbacks. One of the biggest risks to downsizing is right in the name, it's downsizing. You're leaving a larger place for a smaller place, so that just means less space overall. And that could mean less storage space. So of course, you got to get rid of a lot of your stuff. And that's hard to do for a lot of folks. It could mean less space for family members to visit. And if you're the one that's accustomed to hosting the big family gatherings for holidays, birthdays, or whatever else, that could be a huge adjustment as well. These are things you got to think about when you're looking at downsizing. Also, adjusting to a brand new neighborhood, new neighbors, and just different routines is also something that, you know, could be a hard thing to adjust to for some folks. Now, of course, everybody's different and these things are going to vary from person to person. But there's one thing that most people feel that is kind of hard to prepare for, and that's the emotions of a big move like this. Everybody's going to experience some emotions, some more than others. Leaving a home filled with memories where you've maybe raised your kids, you've experienced tons of family memories of holidays and celebrations and birthdays and so on and so forth, it could be really emotional for a lot of folks. The grief that some people experience with parting with lifelong possessions is real. Downsizing for a lot of folks equals freedom, but for others, it represents a huge loss that could feel like letting go of an old friend. One thing that could possibly lessen the blow is to start with items that are less sentimental to you. Have your family get involved also. That could help you maybe process the emotions that you may be going through. Something else you have to consider when you think about downsizing are the market conditions. Here in Metro Atlanta, the inventory over the last few years has steadily grown. So that means buyers have more choices than they've had over the last few years. What does that mean? What that means for you in selling your current home is that you definitely want to have it positioned correctly to be able to get the most money in the least amount of time and with the least amount of hassle. Not getting this part right could mean the difference in tens of thousands of dollars to your bottom line. Another thing is that 55 plus and active adult communities, in particular in Atlanta, have seen a surge in demand over the last several years. So you definitely want to determine what style home and community you want to live in before you get the process going. And you want to identify several communities that are very good prospects for you. Part of this step is timing. Navigating selling a home and purchasing at the same time requires a lot of coordination And I've been able to help several clients do this pretty seamlessly and make that transition as stress-free as possible. So is downsizing a smart move or is it a mistake? It really just depends on one thing, and that's what your objectives are. Are you trying to get lower bills, more freedom, less maintenance? Or is having space for entertaining more important to you? Maybe you're trying to get closer to your children and grandchildren. Whatever your desires are, that's the most important thing to determine whether it's going to be a smart move or not. I mean, it's really not about the house, it's all about aligning your lifestyle. So, actually, downsizing is not a right or wrong. It's really just all about making the move that supports you and the life that you want to live in retirement. That's why I created my downsizing checklist to take some of that mental load off your shoulders and to help you get through this process without missing all the critical steps. You can download that checklist below in the description or in the pinned comment. If you found this video informative or helpful, please give us a thumbs up, share it with somebody else that can use it, and consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss any of our future videos.